I think we know that Jimmy Butler's performance versus the Bucks in the first round at large was due to the way they defended him one-on-one. And to expect that out of Jimmy in the playoffs is a bit unrealistic. Not only that, but the Heat were the A seed this regular season. And now the Washington Wizards, after 19 years, have finally decided to move on from Bradley Beal. And they can trade him anywhere he wants to go because he has a no trade clause and a 15% trade kicker. So good thing they added that into the deal when they gave him a $250 million extension a year ago. That being said, I think it's no brainer. The Miami Heat have to make a big time splash this summer for a star because they're so close to contention. And with Jimmy Butler playing at this level, going on 34 years old, you can't take it for granted. You need a 1B on the offensive end.
Yeah, well, no, I would say you need a 1A on the offensive end. Jimmy himself has said he is not a scorer, and I think we all realize that it's not really what he does best. Um, so, yeah, you need to go get a guy. And listen, me and John, uh, he said when I tweeted out I wouldn't blow up the team for Bradley Beal, I would only blow it up for Dame. And he tweeted back, L, you were an eighth seed for a reason. And I simply tweeted back at him, Beal doesn't change life. Dame does change life. And that's a factual statement. So I stand by what I said. The only person I'm blowing this team up for is Damian Lillard. I hope to God we're not going after Bradley Beal. This is not to slight Bradley Beal. He's a great player. All right. He's barely top 30 though. Barely right now. He hasn't been on a winning team in how long since John Wall, was in his prime.
2017.
And when they were making that run, Bradley Beal was the 2. He wasn't the 1. That's another thing in Dame's cap. Dame has always been the 1. He's always been the 1. Dame fits our culture so much better than Bradley Beal. Damian Lillard is a underdog and an overachiever from Weber State. Weber State. All right. And this kid is being mentioned he's not a kid anymore. This guy is being mentioned with the likes of Steph Curry. Okay. A top 10 player of all time. So that's what I mean when I say I'll blow up the team for Damian Lillard and not Bradley Beal, because Damian Lillard I know can be that one guy who's going to take a lot of pressure off of Jimmy Butler in terms of handling the ball and playmaking a lot. Damian's going to take a lot of that. Damian Lillard just came off of averaging 32 points per game. Justin, wasn't John a month or two ago the guy who was debating the hell out of me, saying Damian Lillard was having his best season of his entire career and was a first-team All-NBA player this year?
Correct.
Where was Bradley Beal in that conversation? Because he was not brought up at all. There's a reason for that. That's why I change, and that's why I want Damian Lillard on the Miami Heat.
Listen, I'm with Brandon there. I think the move has to be Damian Lillard. I don't think Bradley Beal is enough of a needle mover, and it's a guy that he looks like he's on the decline, and he could still score, but he's not the player that we saw just a couple of years ago that people were begging for. Bradley Beal hasn't elevated his teammates in Washington, hasn't elevated that team whatsoever. But on the other end, I can show you postseason games where Damian Lillard is carrying the load and hitting big shots after big shots, trying to will Portland to a victory. That's exactly what Miami needs. That's what all these teams are probably going to be looking for in this offseason. Now, if you're settling for a guy like Bradley Beal, like I look at my Knicks and how we were so eager to acquire stars, and we didn't care who the name was. It was just a star. Bradley Beal is not the guy. Just ask the Wizards all of their mistakes over the years. Would they make that move again? Probably they would. But overall, it's Dame. That's an MVP. That's an all-pro talent. That's a future Hall of Famer right there. That's a guy that if you input him in Miami right now, that is probably the best team in the East.
I agree with you guys. If you can get Dame, it's no brainer.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing real quick because Justin said something. I don't know if he noticed he said it or if it was intentional. He said the word settle. Mm-hmm. Never want to hear that when you're going and saying we're star hunting. I don't We're star hunting. We're settling? Who the F wants to settle?
Beggars.
We're not beggars because we were just in the Eastern Conference last 3 out of 4 years when we weren't supposed to be.
Your starting point guard's not a restricted free agent.
Okay, what is that?
You're $15 million into the
What are
lottery.
you debating, though?
You're going to lose Gabe Vincent. Kevin Love's a free agent.
Okay.
Max Bruce is a free agent.
Well, what are you making? What point are you making, though? What point are you making?
The Heat can't be choosers. They don't have their 2025 first-round pick. Look, if you're gonna acquire Damian Lillard, you have to overwhelm the Blazers with the package. Otherwise, you're not getting him.
Where are you getting that information from?
Logic.
Okay, there's logic there, but there's also Damian Lillard demands a trade and says, I want out.
And there's Damian Lillard going to pre-draft workouts with the Portland Trail Blazers after years of saying he settled down in Portland, Oregon.
I understand that, but we're going off the hypothesis that he wants out.
No, we're going off the reality. He's probably not going to be traded unless the Portland Trail Blazers deem the move and the return too good to pass up.
I don't believe that. I think they do right by Damian Lillard.
Because they've done right by him for the last couple of years, right?
I mean, they've paid him handsomely.
Yeah.
He's wanted to be there. That's not their fault. If I come to you, John, I say I want to be here. I don't know what we're doing. Then okay, what am I supposed to hand you? You want to be here, so you obviously want to play in this crappy situation. This is what it is. Now, if Dame comes to me and says, "I want out," all right, we're gonna find the best shooter available. And if you tell me the shooter that's available that's going to be best for Damian Lillard. Please tell me, because it's not going to be a non-championship contending team. It's not. So tell me the team that's going to trade for Damian Lillard. That's a championship contending team that's going to go get Damian Lillard. Tell me what their assets are.
There is none. But you're not bidding against the Knicks or the Sixers.
So this is not like out of the blue too, John. Damian Lillard literally on record 2 weeks ago, I think, said, I don't like the position. Actually, the whole year he has been saying, I don't really like the position that the Trailblazers are going. If they continue to say, we're not going for a championship contending, I don't want to be here. He has openly said that.
He's also openly said a year ago, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And the year before that, he backed out of a trade request that he could have demanded to the Lakers if he really wanted to go.
Okay, but things change. 2 years ago is 2 years ago. Last year is last year. I'm talking what has just happened. What he said 2 weeks ago was, if the Miami Heat don't win a championship, I'd love to go to Miami. He literally said openly, for the first time I think ever, teams that he would like to go play for if he were to leave the Trailblazers. And Miami was one of them. So this isn't out for, out of the blue or anything. This is taking Damian Lillard, and this is what we do. We see what Damian Lillard says. We go off of it, and that's what we go off of. To get Damian Lillard, obviously, the Miami Heat aren't offering this insane deal that you're like, whoa, we're getting Bam and Jimmy Butler for dinner. No, you're not. Okay, that's not happening because this doesn't happen. You don't see the Rudy Gobert trades that often. That is not the rule. That is an exception. You're not going to get back equal or better value for Damian Lillard. The Trailblazers know that. It's about getting the best deal. And I think right now the Miami Heat are primed to put up the best deal.
Also
because one more thing. Because they're willing to put up the best deal for the Trailblazers because the Trailblazers already know they are not contending for a championship anytime soon. They're playing the long game for the future. So obviously they would take the draft picks. They would take a young player in Tyler Hero. They'd take an expiring contract. They take these guys, these picks, and see how the chips fall later down the line. Because keeping Damian Lillard is just, it's insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, and that's not right.
Which is what the Blazers did in the last 5 years.
But and think about this for Miami. One of the greatest architects in NBA history is Pat Riley himself. So he can find something here. Like you said, all these people are leaving. Gabe Vincent may be gone. Your starting point guard's gone. Kevin Love's gone. All of that. Who do you trust more to reconstruct a roster after losing a bunch of people? I trust Pat Riley.
Calvin Booth. Look, I agree with you, Justin, which is why Bradley Beal to the Miami Heat is inevitable. You talk about a guy that's massively overpaid. Why? Why is Bradley Beal overpaid?
Because he's the only guy, the only star they have. They're not get no stars are coming to the Washington Wizards.
He's the 30th best player in the NBA, but
Mhm.
he's one of the NBA's 30 best players.
Yes.
In 2017, he was one of the better number twos on a Wizards team that took the Celtics to 7 games. He was supposed to be the perfect complementary piece, the third best player when Kevin Durant signed with them in 2016. That's why they hired Scott Brooks after a lot of people knew he wasn't a great coach.
Mm.
Bradley Beal, since 2017, has developed as a playmaker, on-ball creator, and defensively, where he's taken a step back in the last couple of years, it's naturally because we all know Bradley Beal. Let me move my mic, sorry. We all know Bradley Beal is not served to be number one. The same way Chris Middleton is not served to be one either. Chris Middleton gets paid $150. It's a million. It's a no-brainer because he is the $1 million, the perfect piece next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. The same applies to Michael Porter Jr. You put Bradley Beal in Miami, he is the exact missing piece, but he can be one of the guys defensively to where you start him and you don't have to worry about his limitations. He's also just turning 30 years old, and we can all understand, let's be honest, Devin Booker's the best shooting guard in the league. He's amazing. He was phenomenal this postseason run. Bradley Beal is 90% the player Devin Booker is. 90%, maybe even higher. And he's only 3 years older.
I don't know. You're putting Bradley Beal on a pedestal that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I don't know how you say Bradley Beal is the perfect fit for the Miami Heat when he's a guy who is obviously seen. I'm only going off of the actions he has put out is about his money more than about winning. Because if it was about winning, he would have left when his contract was up and not signed a massive contract that everybody and their mother has been saying is one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Okay.
You're blaming Beal for getting his money?
No, did those words ever come out of my mouth? I said if he wanted to, first off, you cut me off and didn't let me finish my point. I said if he wanted to be about winning, he could have left, gotten a pretty damn good bag. Like it's not like let's not act like these guys are not getting paid $175+ million. Okay, you're not getting the 250. 175 million is not nothing to sneeze at. Plus, you get a ring. So it's basically asking you, does a ring mean more to you? Because right now, he has signed a contract that is so massive that any team he goes to, they are going to be royally fucked because they are going to have to give up so much to be able to match up the contracts and get them. And how much, dude, the CBA or whatever is just about to kick in soon about if you go over the luxury tax, however much you get X amount of more money put onto your bill, and then you got to pay it. This is madness, man. This is madness. That's too much. Damian Lillard's contract is much more plausible and much more realistic and much more easy. It's still going to go over the cap, but it's much easier to deal with than Bradley Beal's. Plus, you're getting a much better player. Much better. A guy who's proven to be a one. Didn't he just score 70 this year?
Yes, he scored 30.
Okay. So I'm just saying, though. Like this. Okay, listen. Is it a pie in the sky, John? I'll say that. What happened?
You know that Mark Bartelstein, his agent, is the guy who was able to finesse Kyle Lowry to the Heat. He's been one of the savviest agents. Look, I understand Bradley Beal's contract is a joke, but if you're the player, you can't blame him and his agent for doing great business.
I never said that.
The right move is getting. Let me speak. The right move is getting the Supermax contract by the Wizards, and then the way we see nowadays with stars, once you get the money, you request a trade a year later. That's exactly what's going to go on here. Yeah, he's getting a lot of money. He's paying a great agent, probably 5% of that, honestly. He deserves fucking 20% for the no trade clause. Shout out to Mark Bartelstein. He's one of the best agents in the NBA. And if Bradley Beal wants to go to Miami, they're going to find a way to not royally screw them in terms of assets. I think the no-brainer move is Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero's salary, plus their 2027 and 2029 first-round picks. If you have to include pick 18 this year too, you do it, but then you have to get back DeLon Wright, who's one of the best backup point guards in the league too, because Bradley's negative at a contract. That being said, what you need is a bucket getter. And the second round of the 2017 playoffs, when John Wall was struggling from the field, it was Bradley Beal that forced a Game 7. he was the one going toe-to-toe with Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
His shot creation was the perfect complement to a player that wasn't a great three-point shooter. He's a three-level scorer, he's arguably the best playmaker at the shooting guard position with his growth, and then he's also a fine defender and off-ball player too.
I think there's too many what ifs when it comes to this Bradley Beal thing. I think, like I said, I think you're putting Bradley Beal on a pedestal that, bro, you're telling me about 2017. Guess what? 2017 is so far behind us, bro. The Yankees were playing in the ALCS in 2017. I thought we were going to win the World Series. Where was that? Nothing happened since. That's so long ago. That's 6-7 years ago now.
That was when Bradley was 23. He's got
and guess what? Now he has an extra 7 years of mileage on him. He's 30 years old. He's not the same player. He's not the 1B that you want in Miami. When you can get that guaranteed player, like you said, a first-team All-Pro player, All-NBA player in Damian Lillard, you don't miss. If you can take the swing and acquire somebody of that caliber, why sit on your hands? And as I said before, and Brandon said, settle for somebody that you haven't seen in the spotlight. Yeah. You're getting a player that has proven to you that he can play in the postseason. And then now you want me to acquire Bradley Beal, who the last time he proved something to you in the postseason was when?
2017.
Can I just
what has Dame done after the first rounds?
Wait, John.
He's done nothing outside the first rounds. It
But
was CJ McCollum that got to the conference final.
Has Dame had an Eric Spoelstra? Has Dame had a Jimmy Butler and company with him? No.
But I just want to ask one.
Bradley Beal did. They had their best season since 1976.
I just want to clear.
It's been 6-7 years.
What are we doing here, man?
Can I just be clear? Wait, John, stop. Can I just want to clear something up real quick. John, are you saying like the Miami Heat shouldn't go after Damian Lillard because it's not possible, and that's why they should go after Bradley Beal? Or are you just outright saying that if you had the option to go after either and get either one, go Bradley Beal over Damian Lillard? Is that what you're saying right now?
I said if you can get Dame, you do it.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Unlikely they don't get Dame.
I got you. I hear you. I get it. I was literally about to say 5 minutes ago, is it a pie in the sky? Is it a 5% chance we get Dame? 10% chance, whatever. Sure, I'm here to say this is not insanely possible.
5% of the segment speaking
hold on. If I'm the Miami Heat and there's even a chance I can get Dame, I'm going after Dame first. And the clock is ticking, because if you're going to include that 18th overall pick this year, you have a week to do it, or whatever it is. Less than a week now. Or I think actually exactly a week, exactly 7 days. So the clock is ticking.